What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm back again. Back again. Am I? It says I'm live. Okay. What's up? It's me again. Change one half of changing the narrative. Red probably won't be joining again. She's packing. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. We're packing. Well, she's packing. We're taking us a little trip today, a boat ride. Uh, it's only like 3 hours. You know, nothing major. But again, the link is on the in the chats if you want to get on and holler at me. Want to talk about anything? I'm right here. I think I'm gonna use this as my therapy because, like I said, I be having nothing to do, and I be wanting to talk, and I don't have anybody to talk to. But yesterday's podcast, a lot of people said a lot of good stuff, man. It went somewhere I didn't expect it to go, but it still went, and it was nice. It was nice chatting with you guys, and I hope we can do the same thing again today. I see we got 6 people watching. Thank you guys. Hopefully, be a whole lot more. And like I said, if y'all want to come on and talk, questions, whatever, let's do it. But yesterday, another this topic for some odd reason stayed coming up about my kids, and why I don't want to bring the kids and why the kids don't want to come. And I think more so was like I keep saying, they want to be independent. They want to live their life. They want to make their own decisions. Um, when you're living with your parents, are you either living with family members? You can't just do what you want to do in somebody else's house. You know, I remember a few times my kids when they was maybe 16, 17, daddy, I'm going to make my own decisions. Well, no, get your own place and, make your own decisions. Because when you live under my roof, nah, we gotta talk about that. You can't just come and go as you want. So, and then I got a question for you guys. What's the difference in us leaving them and them leaving us? Kids decide to go to college, go to military, travel abroad. They leave us. You know what I mean? So I need someone to tell me the difference in us leaving them and them leaving us. We raise our kids to stay out of jail, be productive citizens. And at 18, they can leave and do what they want to do. So why at 18, when they turn 18, we can't leave and do what we want to do? You know what I mean? So if anybody want to talk about that, please jump on. Also, Assad yesterday said something that was really, really powerful. He said, "You guys are too hard on yourself." I definitely agree with that. You guys came a long, long way in a short period of time. You know what I mean? America is still messed up and they've been around forever. You know? So you guys are doing real good. Actually, a friend of mine just sent me a link about you have a lot of buildings that you guys are trying to make better. Construction, construction opportunities. Um, that's good. That's happening in America too. But like I said, you guys came a long, long way in a short period of time. So you guys should be very, very proud of yourself. And another person even said, we need to change our podcast name to Changing the Narrative in Africa. Because we'll get a whole bunch of views and likes and subscribes and all that kind of good stuff. We're getting a lot of that. We're getting a lot of that now. And we really appreciate that. I don't know if we want to change it or not, because I think the young lady said you guys get a bunch of bad publicity from the other people. It's going to be bad publicity. It's going to be good publicity. Take it for what it's worth. You know what I mean? You know your area, your city, your country. Lay it for what them other people say. You know what I mean? Lay it for that. You guys are fine. You guys are doing really, really good, man. really good. And you got a bunch of us that's coming over there trying to help out. We just want to be a part. You know, but yeah, Assad came through and he dropped some Jews like he always do. Pastor Assad, that's what we should call him. So I'm hoping Red can come in and show her face right quick. But like I said, we going on a boat cruise later on, and yeah, yeah, and I'm surprised nobody came on yet. But yeah, we ain't got too much going on today. Besides, we got one person. Let's see what's up. What's up, brother?
Hey, Stace, how are
What's
you, man?
good? I'm good. How you?
Yeah, man, I'm all day.
You froze. Okay, you back. You back. You back. How your
No, man,
weekend
I don't
going?
have anything to say. I'm just tired. Sorry?
And I say, how's your weekend going?
It's been all right. It's been all right. I was working all throughout, and even now I'm working. No,
Okay.
please, we need all your help, man.
As far as what?
Yeah,
Help as far as what?
I don't know. I'm hearing myself back.
No, no. You said you need help. You need our help. Help as far as what?
No, I'm saying, come, guys, we need to build up South Africa.
Oh,
Whatever help we needed. And
we're
so,
coming. We're coming. The only reason why we're not there now, me and my wife not there now. My wife put a 2 week notice in probably about this is August. She put a 2 week notice in like May,
yeah.
and she's the only person at her job that can do what she does. So they offered her a whole lot more money to stick around until November.
Oh, okay.
So if it wasn't for that, we'll be actually shit. We might be there by now because our plan was September.
Yeah.
But we couldn't leave that money on the table.
Yeah, true. No, we need that, man. So can she not do can she not work from home and
She
do that
works from
work while
home.
she's here? Yeah,
She
but
works
then
from home.
when you guys move down here, can she not then continue doing that kind of work?
Okay, let me tell you the whole story. The whole story is this: when we first started this journey, that her company said they was going to support the move. Okay, so then when we got there on
Yeah.
our very first trip in no, this is our second trip last year in January, they contacted us while we was on vacation and told her we can't support the trip. So she was like, "All right, fine." We thought the company was bluffing, but they
Yeah.
holding up to what they said, and then they offered the wife this money in May, and that's the reason why we still here. If it wasn't for that, we would be there right now.
But are they gonna allow her to continue do that kind of
No,
work while she's here?
no. Her last day
Why?
is May. Her last day at the job she work at now is November 15th. November
Oh,
16th.
that's great.
November 16th, we're going to see our family on the East Coast, and then we're coming back to Houston around December 1st. And
Yeah,
our flights is already booked for December 9th.
good, good.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Oh, you
trust me,
be
we coming.
here. Come, guys.
Hey,
No,
have
you
you
need to come, man.
we coming? Have
Sorry?
you been to any other side meetups yet?
Yeah, I was actually on the last one that he had.
How was it?
It was awesome, man. It was packed. I don't think Assad emphasized it enough. It was packed.
Yeah,
I was sitting on a separate table there, and then they had the whole table, and it was already packed. I think there were like three or four other separate tables that had people. It was really packed.
wow, that is nice. That is
And
nice.
I didn't even get to talk to him much. It was just a greeting, and that was it. But it was all cool,
That's really
But it
nice,
was
man.
packed, man.
I can't
Yeah,
wait to attend one of those, man. I really cannot wait. It's like
yeah,
he
yeah.
says, laugh, just conjugate, build, because that's how we can make it out of what we're doing now. We gotta
Exactly.
all get together and figure out a way to make this happen.
Yeah.
You know,
But do
and
you know what he said? Also, he said he's first gonna now, go and check out the restaurant and see if it will
yeah,
be able to accommodate his people. Because I really think he really should do that. Because I mean, well, no, not that it was a bad restaurant. It was a good, nice restaurant. But I think by him going and checking it out first is gonna help.
but
Because
also, the more that he does this, the bigger and bigger it's going to
That's a
get.
thing.
You know, so
That's a thing.
eventually, it's going to have he's going to have to rent out the whole building eventually.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to grow. The more we come over, the more you guys come. It's going to be a
Yeah.
bigger thing, and it's going to be insane.
Yeah, yeah. But I also suggested to him, but I heard him also talking about it, that maybe we can also do an outdoor, gathering. But I understand also his logic to say, no, my goal is to, empower black business. But
Yes.
I just think we can also do one of those outdoor where we meet at the park or something like that. Maybe
Well,
once in a while.
that can actually happen, and how it can happen is getting somebody to cater it. You know, why does it matter if if the money's being spent on the inside or the outside?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
can
It's
go
good.
and buy whatever that we need to buy at the whatever restaurant that we really want, and then go and
Yeah,
have fun
get it
somewhere else.
catered. You know, that'd be nice, man. You know, I really
Yeah,
believe this is gonna be a big thing, man. And a lot of the
yeah,
Americans that are coming, I think almost everybody gonna be there in December.
yeah.
It is
And I
going to be
like the
insane.
Yeah, and also another thing, I like the kind of people that are coming, because I know that we black people, we're not all good, So, but having seen the kind of people that are coming down here, I really like the kind of people that are coming down here, because we
Yeah.
don't want issues. We've seen how people are. I mean, even black South African can go crazy too. So we've also
Hmm.
seen that some black Americans can be crazy too.
Hmm.
But so far, the people that have been coming is people that will fit into our culture,
Yeah.
you know.
I totally agree.
And those are the who, yeah. But we're not saying guys change and do be something that you're not. But try to understand our culture and then see if it can work for you.
Hmm.
And also what Assad is doing, I really like it, because we as South Africans, there's different tribes here, right? There's different peoples. You get Zulus, I'm Zulu, you get Sutus, you get, all these different tribes that you know about. But we live together. You know, like we want people to, simulate together. Like, for instance, you won't find a Zulu club, for instance. When you go to the club, it's gonna be the mix of everyone.
Right.
So for me, I don't want to see a situation where we have a club just for Black American. We want you guys to really mingle with us, like we've been doing, because I feel like we have sort of like mastered the art of living together as
Hmm.
Black people.
Hmm.
So for me, I want us, when you guys here, we don't want to find another group of Americans living just there by themselves. They don't want to do anything with South African. So what is happening, it's kind of like a positive development according to my view, to see you guys, okay, you really want to mingle with us, you want to be part of our society, instead of having just it's good, you can have that sort of separate association, but mingle with us,
Hmm.
get to understand with us, live with us, go to club with us, because in South Africa, when you go to the club, I'll tell you now, it's not like you're going to go to a Zulu club, you're going to go to a Pedi club or something. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's just a club, and the goal is to have fun there.
Yeah. We went to we when we was there. We I don't do the club too much. I prefer going to a bar, you know, and smoking me a cigar. I'm more laid back. I'm an older guy. Something a little more laid back. But we went to some place. We went to News Cafe. Um, you know, I didn't really vibe with that because those some kids. You know what I'm saying? They might have been early 20s, mid 20s. You know what I'm saying? That's not my vibe. But I wanted to see how the vibe was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So now when I get back there now, I got some friends that are older now, and they already told me, I mean, we going out when you get here, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know,
Yeah.
I want to hear the slow music. You know, I want to
Yeah.
see the ladies and the guys actually dancing, not just shaking their asses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see couples.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A
No,
family.
I think there's everything for everyone here.
Yeah.
Even myself, I don't go to clubs that much. I don't know. I hardly go there.
Hmm.
But I was just making you an example. So whatever association that you guys will be forming, I'm saying, we don't want to sort of like have that separate,
Hmm.
you know, American, leaving them together. They don't want anything to do with us. That's the kind of thing that we don't really like.
Yeah, that's not good. We can stay where we at if we want to do that. We can stay right
Ex-
over there. You know what I mean? Right?
exactly.
But
Yeah,
it's we're trying to promote unity amongst us and you guys. We're
yeah,
trying to promote us, you, one black race, and just
yeah,
build.
yeah,
It ain't gonna happen overnight, but our intentions are that's what it is. Come over there and
yeah,
fit in. Learn the language, learn the culture, learn the food, get to know
yeah,
you. You get to know me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
That's where it
And
starts at.
also, you don't put yourself under pressure, in regarding learning the language. It's gonna come
Whew.
by itself.
Yeah, listen, man. I try, and I try, and I try. It seemed like when I got 5 words,
Yeah,
I forget three. Then I got to
yeah,
start all over, and it gets frustrating. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
but when I start hearing it more on an everyday
Exactly.
basis, that's
Yeah,
when
it's gonna
that's
come
when
natural because
yes,
even when you're speaking, it to be a natural thing. You won't be thinking. It's like me when I speak English. It's not like I think, okay, what's the next word? No, it should come just
it
natural.
just comes natural. Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
just like learning
so
anything
even the
else.
yeah, let it come natural. I mean, you're gonna pick up one or few words and then you slaughter them in, right there and there, and then you build up from there.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm so excited for this next chapter. As you know, we sold our house already. We in this I hate this apartment that we in. You know, we just ready, man. We just
No, it's
ready.
gonna happen, brother. It's gonna happen. It
It
just
seemed like
you know.
time is going really, really slow. But I know it's
Yeah.
going fast. It's just that I'm just ready to go. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
I can imagine. Even aside, I think they, sort of like settling in. I was watching the video today, showing their, neighborhood is really nice neighborhood. Like it's proper.
Really? I missed
Yes,
that
you must check out
video.
his Facebook. It's on Facebook. Yes, you just. I don't know why Assad didn't post it on YouTube. The neighborhood is fire, man. It's
Really?
it's it's nice, proper. It's
Uh,
it's prop. Like you said it's not a golf estate, but it's still an estate.
uh-huh.
But it's fire, man. It's really
Wow.
nice,
Wow. Well, I
proper.
don't I don't I don't think we're not gonna buy anything right away. But our plan is to not work for probably about a
Yeah,
year and a half,
yeah,
and just like Johannesburg is gonna be our home, but like stay in Johannesburg maybe for like 6 months, and then go somewhere for a couple of weeks, and then go somewhere else for a couple of weeks, and come back to Johannesburg for 4 5 months, and you know what I'm saying? Just hop around and just
yeah,
learn and see different things, and just look and
yeah.
and, and you know what I'm saying, and try to learn.
And yeah, you can also like travel around the country because it's big.
Hmm.
Check out different provinces, see what they got, and may find out that you fall in love with another province. It's
You
possible.
never know, right?
Yeah.
But
Some people, go to Devon. I've seen people, especially from the real south, they really love Devon. So, but for me, Devon is humid, man. I don't like the humidity there. It's humid, but it's some people they're fine, but no for me. But it's nice. Like there's lots of developments going up there,
really,
lots and lots, and like it's also fire, man. You really need to go down there.
we our first like us our first trip we didn't it was kind of like we were just going and see what was up, so we paid for our
Yeah,
hotel for the whole 3 weeks. No
yeah,
leader, no leader. She was mad at us because we did that, because she was like, why'd you do that? You should have just paid for a week, and then we could have went to Durban, and then we could have went to this place, and we didn't
yeah,
know. We didn't know.
yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I understand. But
Now
now
we
you're
know.
gonna have all the time. You're gonna drive down, check out Eastern Cape, check out.
Yes.
Yo, man, there's so many places that you're gonna check out.
And,
Like it's
and, and,
nice.
and I try to tell all my friends the same thing, because all they know is what the news show us, or what movies show us. You know, every time we interview somebody black, one of the first questions we ask is, what was your thoughts on Africa growing
Yeah.
up? And everybody say the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can carry on.
No, I'm saying everybody say the exact same thing. We was getting misinformation for years, ever since we was in middle school, ever since we were in elementary school. All the information we were
Yeah.
getting was wrong.
Yeah. And I didn't really understand how, you know,
Mhm.
big that was. I thought maybe it's just a few people that have, that level of knowledge about Africa. Like it's sort of like a wild thing. It's like it's everyone's like opinion about Africa.
It was designed
They
that way
like,
though. That's how it was designed for us to never know about how great the continent was. You know, they
yes,
didn't want us. They didn't want us to leave. They didn't. They wanted us to hate each other, dislike each other, misunderstand each other. They wanted that. But
and
now we understand.
yeah. And I had one thing I had also, it's more coming from your side, guys, to say Africans don't like us. I don't know where the thing is coming from because here, I mean, you've been here. Did you have any bad experience just because you're an African American?
None, none, none. Like I'm saying,
Because
always
to
was
us, the thing
designed.
it doesn't exist. I never. First time I heard it was mainly coming from America. Saying I was like, where is this thing coming from?
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, when we first started this journey, a lot of our friends said the exact same. You know, they don't like us, right? I'm like, how do you know this? A lot of people came
Yeah,
to me with that. You know, they don't like us. So where did that start from? That's that should be the question. And I think
yeah,
we all know the answer to that, though.
yeah. It's a white media.
There you go. We all know the answer. You know, because if it was so
Yeah,
bad, if it was so bad, and why do they go there?
man. I'll tell you what. You need to go, or I'll find you a link and then drop you an email. You
Okay.
must check the number of Europeans that are coming down here. It's in millions every year. Around the same, literally in millions. If it's below million, it's a bad year.
Wow.
It's all over millions
But they
that
tell
are
us,
coming for
but they,
tourism,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
doing all sorts of things. They come
Yeah.
in millions. I think also it's winter, that side is cold, but they come in millions, not in hundreds. So there's a website, I think it's for, the tourism SA. They tell you who's coming into South Africa and who's not. I know, like, I think like 3 to 4 years ago, mostly it was Europeans. They were the biggest visitors here. And then also people from Africa, obviously from top of Africa, and then I don't know. America was really a very small number. I don't know about now. I think I last checked the numbers like 3 or 4 before COVID. Basically, they are coming in millions.
Wow. Wow. I think I read something a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, that it's over 300,000 Americans that live on the continent. On the continent,
Yeah,
but I want to believe it's more than that. I want to
yeah,
believe it's more than that. I mean, just think about this. Just yesterday, Assad said at his meetup, it was 7 other couples that he didn't even know that was American.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So just
yeah,
imagine so it's way more than that.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely more, but I think mostly those numbers. It's mostly white people. To be honest with you. Me, the first encounter that I had was a white American more than a black person.
Really.
You know, yeah. I used to work for an American company, so they used to come and mostly it was mostly American white people, and then after that, then the black guy started coming just for work, purely for work. It was guy coming from Memphis because FedEx is in Memphis, so it was guys that were coming from Memphis, and then they would come do some IT stuffs and all that.
Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. But
Yeah.
it's a lot coming. I got family members. I got one cousin that she wants to come with us in December. You know, I
You
think
must bring them on and then so that they can change their narrative.
it will. It will. And you know, I think that's the reason why the name of our channel was so important, is because we're actually doing that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? On both sides. Because I'm pretty sure some of you guys thought we was arrogant and stuck up and all of this and all of that. Some of us are, you know. And then on the same
Yeah.
on the flip side, you know.
Yeah. No, they
So
must come because I mean, I think they are in for a big surprise because they think maybe we're living in big huts and all that.
that's
No.
that's what it was. That's what we thought. I know I told my moms like 3 years ago that I was moving there. And the first thing she said, she's a teacher. That's number
Yeah.
one. She's a teacher. The first thing she said
Yeah.
was this: why would you want to move there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, movies. Uh,
Exactly.
it's
So what kind of content they guys? It's all bad. Like, is it like when they show Africa is like it's one of those that they have a baby with a fly, and
yes, yes. I mean,
I've never seen that baby. I don't know where they got that video from, but I
we
mean
don't
they made
listen. That was a money grab. I haven't seen that commercial since I was a kid. You know what I mean? But back
yeah,
then, it was a white lady named Sally Struthers.
yeah,
I guess she traveled to some village or someplace in
yeah,
America and made that commercial. Who knows? I don't know. But the whole
yeah.
thing was a penny a day.
Okay, someone's gonna disturb my peace. Just hold on a second.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You
Okay, you can
okay?
go to your room now.
No.
Yeah, go to
No.
your room.
No.
Good. Bye. Ish, brother, please, I'm gonna disconnect. I just wanna take him back to his room. Sorry,
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
brother.
Say bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. But to 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 talk about what he mentioned, it was a lady named Sally Struthers. There's a white lady. She came out with a video of a little black baby. Baby might have been about 5 years old, 4 years old, walking, uh, flies flying all around the baby, no shirt on, and the commercial basically was saying can a penny a day can give this village clean water and food. If I can find that video, I don't think I want to post that video. But that's what Red Red said. Red, you need to come say hi. Come show your face. But yeah, that's what it was. A penny a day can feed a village of kids clean water, and it'll mean a lot to them. That's what the video was about.
Guess that video probably generated millions for them.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it did because it made you sad, and it made the Americans that had a little bit of change like
Yeah,
want to help, feel sorry, like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
man. So and a
Oh,
penny a day is not much. You know what? This is my cousin Wayne. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a
yeah,
lot to say
yeah.
about this. So and a penny a day is not much. You know what? This is my cousin Wayne.
Hey, what's
I'm
happening,
pretty sure
guys?
he's gonna have a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Wayne, something's wrong with your echoing, Wayne. You know what? This
Hey,
is my
hey,
cousin
what's up?
Wayne.
Can you hear me,
Hey,
cuz?
what's happening? Pretty sure he's gonna have Wayne, you're echoing. Something's wrong with your echoing, Wayne. You know what? This
Hey,
is my
hey,
cousin
what's
Wayne.
up? Can you hear me,
Hey,
cuz?
what's happening? Yeah, but you're echoing. You got to change. You got to change some kind of settings. Yeah, but you're echoing.
Okay.
You got to change. You got to change settings. Brad, close the door. Huh? So okay, but yeah, Wayne to be back. Once Wayne get his audio straight. Wayne has been on the continent. He traveled the whole continent, man. He has a lot of
Wow,
knowledge of a lot of places, and he's been there.
wow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's actually the person
Yeah.
that changed our mind to move to Johannesburg instead of Ghana.
Of which one? Of Ghana.
Yeah, because Ghana had this.
Oh, okay.
Ghana had like a campaign going on saying Americans come back home. You know what I mean? So we
Okay.
started. So we
Yeah.
started doing our research, and Red was like, "Damn, man, they want us to come back home." So
Yeah.
so all right, Wayne, I think you're good now. So they wanted us to come back home, and so we started doing our research. At the same time, Wayne was going back and forth to Johannesburg. I mean, I can let Wayne
Yeah.
tell his story, but so eventually he was like, Stacy, just do some research in Johannesburg.
Mhm.
So I did my
Yeah.
research, and then I found the real South Africa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not to mention Wayne and Mark played golf together.
Yeah.
It was a small,
Yeah.
small world. But
You
Wayne,
know,
what's
it's
up?
interesting because, I didn't even know Mark Blanton lived there. In fact, I didn't know anything about the real South Africa until one day I was just looking at YouTube one day and I saw this one guy posting from a place that looked like the area where my girlfriend lives at. And I looked at closer and closer and said, "Hey, he's right there in the same state." And so I reached out to him over Facebook, and we hooked up. And next time I was in Johannesburg, I finally met him. And this was about 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. And since then, we hit it off well. And when I'm in town, sometimes I'll link up with him, play a little golf or maybe hit a bar or so, and just just catch up on things. But yeah, I've been coming to South Africa regularly for longer than I can probably dare to mention. But it was probably back. I first came when the rand was like 7-1. I
Gee
landed,
whiz.
Oh wow. Yes, I remember those days. It was
and
yes, that's a long time ago.
it is a long time ago. And I came just you know just to say that I went someplace in Africa and get it on my passport, and that would be my one and done trip. I had met somebody. She said she would show me around. Um, I met her in another country, and we changed emails and contact each other over the next couple of months. And about a few months later, I found a cheap flight to Johannesburg. So I said, I'll go to the continent and I'll get it done. I'll have my one trip and done. Because I've been to all the other continents. I've been to every one of them except Antarctica. And I'll say I've been there and I've done it. Boom. Yeah, I've been to Africa. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I've done it. But anyway,
So you said you've been to all the continents and like
this
basically throughout the whole world.
yeah, and I've been not only through that, I've been to some of them more than once, and in Europe, I've been well throughout Europe before coming to Africa. Spain used to be my hangout. I was Mr. Barcelona. Go there twice in a year. Pizza. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Where Black Coffee be doing his residency at now. I know those spots real well. And I had a good time in those spots.
Okay, Mr. Wayne, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Since you've traveled quite a lot, and which continent do you really love the most? And let me just start from there. I mean, you've been exposed to different continents and different way of life. So which one do you really love the most
Oh, that's easier.
from
Africa.
Oh, really?
It was the last one. So I can't say this without saying I've been to other continents before. I've been to all of them, and again, I had a good time touring all of them. So I don't have any biases to say that I had something bad there. That I had a great time in Europe, and I've been through lots of. In fact, when I went to Africa for the first time, it was through Amsterdam, I think, or maybe through Paris. I was having fun with my layover, and I was like thinking, okay, now I've got to go and see what's down there. I'd heard all the stories like Stacy told you. Expect to see all kinds of mayhem and stuff, and so I boarded the flight, and I noticed quickly almost everybody on that flight to Johannesburg, I thought it was gonna be a flight full of Africans, like indigenous Africans, people with melanated skin. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong flight. What's going on? Let's see what's happening here, man. Okay. So I landed, and from the jump, I had my guard up, but my lady friend, she showed me around, and she gave me the kind of tour that was almost similar to what it was when my cousin went there, where just at my own pace to sort of extent, didn't try to push stuff around, just show, or take where I wanted to go. And by the time I left, all I did was just go around Johannesburg, go around Soweto, and then she took me on a road trip to Kruger. So I saw towns like it's now called Bombela, but it used to be
It's in
called
Mpumalanga,
Nelson
Bombela, yes.
or something like that.
Yes.
And then we went up there, and I went to the first shopping mall I went to was one of the first ones was in Hazy View, and I was walking around while she was in a little business meeting. She was working for one of the multinationals, so she had an office and she had connections all over South Africa with in the healthcare field. and she had a little office meeting with women out at the Starbucks. And I'm thinking, wow, they never say these kind of things. This businesswoman with real stuff going on here that they planning. And so I walked into the mall and looked around. I was like, wow, they got stores like this here in Hazy View. They got the same fashions that women like to wear in the States. I'm thinking this is something, and I'm looking back, I feel like a child because I should have known better. But anyway, we went to Kruger. I spent about a night or two out there and came back from Kruger. We drove up past God's View, Potts. We went past the that canyon, Blythe's Canyon Road, all the way up to a town, just the city just north of Johannesburg, and that city's name escapes me, but we all know it. I think it's about maybe
Pretoria. Is it not Pretoria? Not Pretoria.
No, north of that one, maybe about 2 hours. North.
Probably. I think it's. Is it not Polokwane or Pietersburg or something like that?
Yes. And so from Polokwane, we departed, and I took a little flight back to Johannesburg so I can catch my return flight back to the States. But by the time I got on that return flight, I knew that I got to come back here because this place was nothing like I expected. I mean, all the other places was like I expected. When I went to Europe, South America, what they said expect. I got this one. They said the expectations was supposedly much lower. It exceeded it, and it's the only place I ever traveled that consistently exceeds expectations. And so, I mean, I had to come back and see more because this was like literally like another planet here, in terms of what you expect and what you get. And I came back, and Cape Town was the next trip. Went to Cape Town Jazz Festival a couple of times on my trips. Been to Durban for Essence Fest. I think that was just right after Donald Trump got elected. It was just 2 or 3 days after he got elected. So we joked and said I escaped the U.S. after Trump got elected, but really that trip was organized well before. But it came in handy. And so been to Swaziland, Zimbabwe, Zambia, for Victoria Falls, a little bit of Botswana, Mozambique, Mauritius, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Seychelles. Yeah, that was fun. Ethiopia, and in fact, the first time I went to Seychelles was with Ethiopian Air, and we went through Ethiopia. And as the plane got ready to land in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, I looked out the window and saw nothing but just lush greenery everywhere. And my mind came back to what Stacey was saying earlier. You go back. Sally Fields said it was just dry, dusty, kids, just nothing but, and maybe it was potentially a drought in a small part of Ethiopia. Like places have droughts everywhere. We've got them even in the States, but it was magnified to look like it's the whole place like that. And that's what we get a lot of in the States. It's just, it's just inaccurate information, and we take it and run with it as being a way to look at an entire place. And sadly, that is what prevented a lot of people from really seeing what's there because they could simply write off of what to expect there, like I once did.
Yeah, we're definitely all was fooled too. Wayne, how many times you go to Africa a year?
Right now, about 4 times.
You live here practically.
Yeah. I can drive the car there. It's easy. I learned to drive and I can land at the airport and drive the car from it. She picks me up. I can drive it, but I normally don't because I have a little jet lag going on me. But I can.
Yeah.
I've driven.
Yeah, he practically lived there.
Yeah, I was there throughout the COVID lockdown from March 2020 to September 2020. I spent it in lockdown there, and it was really a chance to really see the real South Africa because there was no tourists coming in that are flooded. It was just y'all to yourself. You know what it was like, man. No tourism, no nothing. The airport was locked down for half that time at least. In fact, all that time. You couldn't fly to South Africa between late March of 2020 and December of 2020. You could not come in there from the States. You could leave around August on chartered jets. A group of people might join a WhatsApp group, and every week there'd be an organized chartered flight back to the U.S. It was expensive too, the cost of that one-way trip was like the cost of a round trip ticket.
Wow.
But that's because it was a leased type of chartered airplane, like a big jet now. But and then that was how I was able to get back home. But many of them I let pass over me. I'll just take the charter, the next charter.
Yeah,
So how was
didn't-
it?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
And so,
No, I was saying, how was it when you were here during lockdown? Were you
No,
like
that's
sort of
what I
like
wanna
eager
say.
to get back to the state, or you were like, no,
That-
I'm cool.
That
Let them
was
extend the
very
lockdown.
interesting. And sadly, because you won't see that, you won't get that again unless it's locked down. That's when you really see where you're at, because there's no tourists there. There's nothing coming in, but just there. And when you go someplace and you say you're an American, it's a little bit different, because they know that you are an unusual person to not be from there, to be there in August, because you can't fly there. You rarely see an American in July and August in South Africa, because you couldn't get there. And it was really, really, really nice for me. I've walked around the Centurion area on foot for many distances on a Sunday afternoon with nothing to do, just to see and smell and get the flavor of the neighborhood on a regular day. So I enjoyed it immensely. And it wasn't an easy life for people if you were in fact impacted by it. I was able to do my work remotely through a special arrangement I had with my job, but they got a little bit tired of that, and that's what sent me back to the States. But I can say that gave me a chance to really see what's there before making the move, and I really found it to be quite a good experience. People cared about each other. They were not fighting over wearing masks, and there wasn't no fighting over anything or causing any problems with dealing with the pandemic, as we would have those kind of problems in the States, unfortunately, with people. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. I liked it. I loved it.
That's what's up, cuz.
Yeah.
I like the hat too, man.
Yeah, man. I have to go and put it out there on this show, man. And just kind of like show my fashionable side. I'm wearing my Zanzibar shirt. I don't know if you can see it. It might be back.
Okay. Yeah. You showing off. That sounds like you showing off.
Hey, man. I had to go all out for the continent, man. So So,
he was going to ask you another question.
All right.
No, what I wanted to ask him, okay, obviously I can only speak for South Africa, because that's the only country I know. How was it like, driving, especially when you're driving towards Mbombela, that green, the lush, seeing the mountain? Did you feel any sort of like, because me, I get goosebumps sometimes, when I drive and then I look at what God has created.
Man.
You just feel somehow.
Not only do you feel it, but you got to always have your camera on at the ready when you're in South Africa. Always keep it ready, because every time you go about a kilometer, there's always something you want to take a picture off from the window. My lady friend, she's used to it right now. Slow down. We're crossing a bridge. We're crossing a bridge over a stream, and I know that picture is going to look dynamic. She's driving down. It's just the lush greenery everywhere. Even on that trip to Mbombela, Mbombela, it's perfect, man. It's the last time I was in South Africa, we went this was my first time ever going to Lesotho, and so she had never been to this part of the country, and I'd never been to it, so it was like a first time for both of us. We went out to Lesotho, and we got up into the part that had the snow-capped mountains, and we did a little bit of skiing at the Afri-Ski Resort. She'd never been there before. She had heard about it. And so we had a blast, but we saw even new scenery. So it's the whole country is just like a masterpiece in scenery, and it's just stunning, man. Absolutely. And then when you go to places like Swaziland, the minute you get there, it's a continuation of the same theme. God bless the continent when it comes to landscapes and beauty, and of course when it comes to natural resources, but most important when it comes to good people.
No doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that. That's the one thing that I loved, man. Because I said it numerous of times. Once we landed and we were just riding from the airport, we were just like, oh my God, we didn't expect what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect that at all. And we got there like 4 or 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was dark, and we still was like, wow. Beautiful. Then when we put our bags down and we got in the streets, we was just like, oh my, oh my.
You see, you guys
Just on that again, it's gonna be a follow-up question. You're gonna be continuing from what you're saying, because you guys have been both to America and South Africa, and when you've been to you've been to every other continent. I wanted to find out from you guys, how far behind are we from the rest of the world? Because we don't know the rest of the world. How far behind are we, or I don't know? Just give me an update on that. If we are far behind,
Wayne, you want this? You want me to take this?
I'll give you my take on it right now.
Go ahead.
And I've been taking my notes over the years now. When I first got there, I was just automatically behind. I had to come in. I felt I needed to teach something or say something every time I come there. But after a few trips, I realized people know what they know and know more than you know. And so then I come in and learn stuff from them, from people there about different things. Right now, I'd say that South Africa is more advanced in many ways than we are in terms of things that people interact and do on a day-to-day basis. In particularly when it comes to banking, financing. You go to the store right now, we're talking about buy now, pay later programs with different companies, with credit cards. But you guys have had the budget option at point of sale purchases for many years. So I mean, I come back and tell that to the States. In South Africa, they don't just have to buy. They can, if you don't have enough money, you can just hit the budget and they can purchase something from the store and have it distributed over several payments. Now, States, we only started doing that kind of stuff maybe about a year ago, and it's usually tricky to even get it arranged. But some companies do it. It's called buy now, pay later. But that stuff they've been doing for years. So you're advanced there. Brain is almost in a bit of a freeze mode right now, but you're advanced in many areas that impact day-to-day life. You can do things with your phones much more ahead of us when it comes to do things with your phone. Even throughout the continent, you've had things like M-Pesa in place, which was what we now know in the States as Zelle. But they've been doing that in the continent since 2009, sending money from phone to phone, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or being able to buy things with phones. I remember one time I was in Ghana.
Here for a while.
I was in Ghana and needed to ride a bus from one city to the other, and the lady wouldn't take credit cards or cash. She took phones. And we didn't have the technology for me to use to try and buy the bus ticket. I couldn't, so there's some things that they do that we are up to yet. And our banking system really don't want us to be able to do what many South Africans can do with theirs on a day-to-day basis, because they'd lose a lot of power and control. So in many ways, you're ahead. In some ways, in some places, are behind, but like that, it balances there, but in the States, though, it's all perceived as generally behind everything, and like Stacy was saying earlier, and I can attest myself, almost all the news that we get out of South Africa or the continent is usually going to be the bad news of anything. And people here sometimes take that as being what the only potential is. But having traveled around the continent and in different places, I can say that if all you're getting is nothing but bad news about a place, you have to realize there's nothing in life that's all continuously bad of any place. And there has to be something else. There's no perfectly bad day every day for somewhere. It just cannot be that way. Life is not, but we don't think about it that way, though, when it comes to the continent. And so all we do is just the bad news. And if you don't know anything different, you think that it's just every day, everybody's just walking around confused and don't know what to do.
Right. And also taking consideration, we've been told this here for all our lives, and I'm talking about our parents' lives, our great parents' lives, you know what I'm saying? So it's embedded, it's there. So the only way that you're going to see any difference is to go there yourself, or for a family member to go there and tell you something different so you can see pictures. I know when we posted pictures of us walking through the Mall of Africa, people thinking we was in Dubai or something. That's not Africa. You bugging. That's not Africa. I'm like, hold on a second. Let me show you where it says Africa. So then I took the picture where it says Africa. You got to actually show some people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the only way to understand or know what's going on in Africa is to be there on your foot there. And that's one of the first things I tell people at the end of the day when they start talking about something on the continent or on a country on the continent. If I ask them if you ever been there before and they say no, you know, you have to your emotions then range up because you have to tamp it down because you know what different things you want to say. But if you don't come across with what you're saying the right way, we're also made to believe in this country that people who say things positive about Africa aren't aware of things else or just off tilter or something. So I looked at this. I said the bottom line is you really won't understand anything about what's going on in Africa unless you have your foot on the ground in Africa. I mean, that even applies to anywhere, really, in general, but people need to really, truly understand that you cannot, understand anything here without being on the ground and being on the ground really for a while, and and not being on the ground with a group of 100 other, people from your country because you stand out like a big tourist group there. Now, I don't really say this a lot to a lot of people, but if you show up with a bunch of people at one time in one scene, I know, having been there enough time, how the locals are reacting to that stuff. So if you really, really want authentic, uncut experiences in South Africa or anywhere, you really, literally have to be the guy who can be a fly on the wall and walk in the room and sit. And most of our news are from people who can't do that. So, so they get a reaction that's centered around them. And they don't know it, and they put it back to you, and you don't know that's really not what you're going to get or experience necessarily when you go there.
And that was the reason why we didn't want to use a tourist company, because the tourist company was going to have us in the places to where it was other Americans. A tourist place is going to have us just going to all the glitz and the glamour. Mm-hmm. We wanted to see the villages. We wanted to see everyday people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing, we only had one knock on the whole thing on both of our trips, just one knock. We saw too many white people. That was the only. We didn't want to see no white people. You know what I'm saying? that was our only thing. Like, why are we seeing so many damn white people? Y'all go on,
we
go
get
back.
A lot of
go back where
we
you
get a lot of
belong.
European visitors.
Yeah, there's a lot of visitors from a lot of traffic comes from Europe there and from the States. And, I don't know, I guess the information that we get, though, it just has, many people who are African-American just discouraged from really just joining in to even notice that. I mean, as a child growing up, I was told literally a way to try to aggravate or make a person who's Black unhappy is to tell them, well, if you don't like it, go back to Africa, or say, well, at least you're not in Africa starving if something bad's going on to you. These kind of statements we would hear occasionally as in the U.S. and believe it to be true. I mean, we need a lot more people, a lot more African Americans need to go there, to see for themselves and check it off the list. At least they've seen for themselves. They may not want to. I mean, if they don't come back, that's one thing. Or if they move, even great. But at least they can say and verify that they've seen with their own eyes what is going on at a certain place. And it also, would be helpful for people who are not Black to go there to see for their own eyes what's going on in a place for themselves and to see how they react to a situation where they're not the majority of the people in the place. They may dislike that, or they might like that. I mean, they'll at least go back home and know exactly and understand exactly and can go to their grave knowing exactly that they've been in the opposite societies of this world before. So, sadly, though, a lot of us don't really, a lot of Black people really have never lived a whole lifetime and never really understand what it feels like or how they would react if they were in a situation where the majority of the people in the society looked like them. At least know what it looks like or feels like, and that's, and that's sad that many don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The Venture Kid said, did you plan your first trip on your own? I usually make a list of things to do and do it myself. Well, we paid a company X amount of dollars to do our tour. And then as the time got closer and closer and closer, we said, you know what, man, we don't want to be on nobody else's timetable. So we reached out to a friend of ours named Nolita, and the best time of our life.
Mm-hmm.
The best time, because some days you don't want to do nothing. Some days you just want to lay in the bed and just look at TV, or go to the pool, enjoy the weather, whatever. But with those tour groups, Monday you got this, you got to do at 6 o'clock in the morning. Tuesday, this is 8 o'clock in the morning. Wednesday, and so forth and so forth. So no, we did everything ourselves. And our second trip, we ain't playing nothing. We just said we're going to South Africa and we're going to do whatever the hell we want to do every day. And that's what we did. We had no plans. If someone called and said, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, Red, you want to do this? No. Red, you want to do that? Yes. That's what we did.
I remember on my first trip too, it was like loosely planned. All I know was I rented a bunch of camera equipment. Man, I flew into Johannesburg with all kinds of equipment, even electronic binoculars I can take pictures built into it. I had all the suite to be the photographer. And I was going to arrive on Tuesday and return on Tuesday of the next week. I'm going to give it 1 week. And, it was no real plan. I didn't have any travel agent book. All I know was the lady was going to meet me at the airport and show me around. Now, some people may be a little, apprehensive, I guess, or afraid of us arrangement like that. All I know is I met her about 6 months ago. We exchanged emails a few times. I checked her out online. She was a legit individual, with work, she had her stuff together really well. So I trusted that would work well. Landed, and at nighttime, unlike you who arrived first in the morning, I landed, it was dark too, but it was dark at night. I'd flown all the way from Europe, 12 hours, and all of Africa was dark because it was getting darker in the day as we going south. I couldn't see nothing at all for hours out my plane window. And then all of a sudden the plane window lit up like I was in New York City. To this day, I'll never forget my first reaction to seeing Johannesburg lights from air. I was just like, what? After 12 hours enough, this place was like, and I expected a little place to be, lights up everywhere.
Wow.
Like boom. We landed, get out the airport, get ready. She picked me up. She drove me to a hotel that she booked for me that she said that I thought I would like. And I walked in that room and I said, wow, this must be the long outskirts of town. It was a nice hotel. I think it was right down, it was the Protea Fire and Ice right down the street from Rosebank. There was no real agenda though, like a travel agent would give you. All I know, and she asked me where do I want to go the next day. I said, we can go, maybe just go drive to the museum. I wanted to start with the museum only because that way you can get the foundation laid for what it came to be, where this place is at that I am at. You can build it from there. You can understand the past a little bit better. But even before we did all that, after I landed about 8 and she drove me to the hotel, dropped my bag, and said, let's go hit us club. First thing we did was go to Catsy's right down there in Rosebank. And it was a jazz club, and it was really, really, really nice. I wasn't expecting anything like that in South Africa or Africa in general. It was like all oak type of decor. Ordered up a couple of drinks. They were like $7 a piece, the way the Rand dollar was. And it was a live band performing. And to this day, every time I go to South Africa, we stop there for at least one evening, just old time's sake.
Just imagine if we already got some family members that's already said they're gonna come. Just imagine when they get there and they see what we see. They go to anywhere, and just be like, oh my God, this is not what I expected. It's gonna be life changing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because think about this. You've been programmed for all of these years, and all of a sudden you're deprogrammed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. You sit there and
I like the deprogramming part.
Yep. Yeah, but no, I had no schedule, no real set agenda of things to do. The next day I walked out of the room, out of the Protea Fire and Ice. I walked out around the corner, and first thing I saw was a Lamborghini. I was like,
wow. Hey, yo, let
me take that back. The first thing I did, though, on the first morning, I got out of bed and said, Wayne, this is your first day in Africa. You have to now go to your window and take a picture of the first thing you see outside your window on the first day. I only want to do that.
They're probably expecting a lion.
I wanted to also do that just to set the record on what will be the first thing I see out the window. and I took a picture out my window of of an empty field right against the main highway because they hadn't built a building yet to it. Now there's a building. You can't see that highway. New building it. Anyway, I got out the rim, walked down around the corner, saw the Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I walked into a drugstore. Might have been Discam, or I didn't know what the name was back then. I thought, that's a nice store here. I was like, that's when you don't realize it until later, but that's when the deprogramming begins. It begins very subtly, and usually it's best for it to begin without anybody even telling you that you should expect this around the corner. You should just naturally flow into what goes on around, and then you see yourself deprogramming it on your own terms and not on the terms of a tour guide or on the terms of somebody who's got you in a group of people. You deprogramming on your own terms, and the more a person can do that, the more intimate their travel experience is going to be, because they have their they're exposed like that in terms of who they are and what they're seeing. And she picked me up. We went to the museum. It may have been the Apartheid Museum, and then we went to Hector Peterson Museum, and it all began to slowly feel a little bit like at home to some extent.
Yes.
A lot of what I'm, we went from there to Soweto, saw the Mandela House. I still have the pictures from that trip. We took them, and then the next day, I don't know what we did. No, the first night we went to a place. We went to also in Soweto. We went to a place called Chef Pazi. And that place is still open, of course, right now. But that was really one of my first time going to a place like that. It was outside, and I lost my phone. I dropped my phone while we were at the table after we were waiting for the food to be cooked. Dropped my phone. I couldn't find it, and I was like, man, I already lost my phone. And this girl showed up with my phone and said, you dropped this under your table. I was like, that phone went way back to me like that. Oh, I know how this would have gone down in the United States.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying everybody's good or bad in either places. That was a good precedence on the first day experience at a place. And then we had a good time at Chef Puzzy that evening. And from there, the next day we did more things. I don't think the Mall of Africa was open back then.
Yeah, it's new. It's very new.
But
there's a lot of developments that are happening that were not there a while back. Most waterfall area, it's new.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting deprogrammed when I started watching videos from like the real South Africans. I used to watch
there was none of that then. That's also why you're dropping into the wildness. I couldn't even use my phone. In fact, it was so long ago, Stace, that when I went there with my phone, I think I could use I don't even think I could really use my phone to get on the internet good, because my service provider wasn't linked up with the ones there. And those kind of arrangements were difficult to do. Maybe I had to go Wi-Fi to use my phone on the internet. Or I could take phone calls, but all that stuff was much more complicated and expensive to set up. And my banking, I had to go and call the bank and tell them where I was going at there, or I would call to do any trip. I'd always have to let the bank know so they won't think the charge is illegit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we hit it off real well, and around Thursday time frame, it was time for me to go to Kruger, and I thought she would just drive me to a hotel and I'd hop on one of those tour buses what that people do when they run people out to Kruger. She said, no, let's go together. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Now I wanted to have one of those kind of Kruger experiences where you're camping out at night and, a real outdoor, your guide with a gun, that kind of stuff. It's hardcore, because the kind of stuff you can do if you're by yourself. But because she was joining me, I knew that no lady was going to put up with that. And I don't blame them. I shouldn't have neither. So we had a real traditional type of experience over there. Stayed in the hotels, went on the Kruger safari, and because I was with a local, we were able to really get our safari Jeep driver to drive us off the track and into a shopping center before taking us back to the hotel. So my whole trip was just with a person from the area. And as we went along and as every day went along, I began to forget that I was not from where I'm at, because it just felt like an extension of the kind of things I would do in the US. And it wasn't until I ran across a baboon while we were at a rest area that I realized, wait a minute, wait. By then though, I was 1 or 2 days away from my return flight. So we worked our way back to Polokwane, and by then I knew that I had a good feel that a lot of what I thought I knew about life and the world was distorted the most here. And I had that feeling by the time, and I got on she said goodbye to me at the airport. I got on a little small plane that took me back to Johannesburg, and we only had about a 45-minute flight, but they served me a meal. And you know that's not going to happen in the States. All of I was like, wow, they do this kind of stuff. Everything that I experienced in that first trip was a continent that was punching above its weight with regards to what I thought I knew and what I saw and got. So,
you know what? So everything you said just now, it goes right back to what he asked earlier. How advanced? How do you compare SA Africa to United States? Think about this. We haven't said nothing about the United States at all, really. Everything that we talk about is Johannesburg. It just goes to show you we don't care about the United States.
And let me also preface
and
it.
that's just one city, guys.
And let me preface it like this.
You've tasted just 1% of South Africa.
Well, me.
Let me also say this.
Oh, yes.
All of it.
I forgot to say this too now. I was also, before doing all this, in my own personal life, I was having fun in the States. I enjoyed being here too. So I didn't have any kind of distortions on stuff.
Biases.
None of that. No. So when I'm giving you information I'm giving you is from a person who had no biases against anything. In fact, I envisioned that the long term of my life would be I'd spend the winter month of the States would be spent in South Africa, because it's warm down there, and then when it's cold in South Africa, I'd be back up here having fun. And now the fun level has decreased mainly due to the impacts of COVID and the way people reacted and the Trump administration. It's just gotten to be different around here. But it's
become more dangerous here.
Oh, a lot more. A
whole lot more dangerous.
When I went to Johannesburg for the first time, I'd already known how to locate every police station I needed to get to in case something was going down. That's just how deep the programming was. I had the backup plans. I knew what I was going. I had one eye behind my back because I just thought that that everything was going to be just from the jump. You get to the airport, you'd have a million scammers ready to take your stuff and walk away with it.
But guess what though? But guess what though? The thing is this: the deprogramming starts once you get to the airport, because you don't expect to see that beautiful, huge airport. That's where deprogramming starts, right then and there.
Yep.
Then once you get in and you start meeting the people and seeing the beauty and then meeting more people and then the food and then meet more people, because all the beauty starts with the people. And then after that, it's like, damn, man, I was lied to. So the deprogramming starts at the airport.
It starts, and that airport also has a train station built into it.
You told me. I never been on that though, because like I said, when we got there, it was closed.
It's our high-speed train.
On many flights, I've flown in there, and to make it easy on my lady, instead of having her come down from Centurion, I would hop on the Hull train and take it out to one of the stops near where she's at. I think I would get off just before Centurion stop. What's that stop called? It's
so you get Marlborough, then you get Sentin Station, and then I don't know how Centurion goes, but I know it probably passes Marlborough, and then I don't know if it's gonna connect via Sentin and then it hits Centurion.
Yeah, I do a changeover. I change it at Marlborough, and then I go on further past 2 or 3 more stops, and then
Hetfield.
And so anyway, Stace, that train is high speed. It goes well above 90, I think.
Wow.
And it looks like an Acela, but better. Look, you've seen what the Acela looks like, right?
Yeah.
That train looks just like the Acela, that kind of style. It's a slick train. Wow. It's a very slick train. And it cost me probably about, I don't know how much it costs right now, maybe $7 to go from the airport to her stop. It's not expensive if you're coming in with dollars. But locals find it to be too high to do everyday thing. But that same station stops at Rosebank. As I told you, even on your first trip, you can literally hop on the train from where you're at, right around the corner, hop on that train and go straight to the airport. You don't even.
But see, again, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. They was closed.
It's mid-trend. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wayne, it's what I use that train to go to work. But what I do, I take the monthly ticket, and then it works out, pretty much the same as when I use my car. So it's if you take out your monthly ticket, and then it's really gonna work out the same or even cheaper than when you use your car, because when you use your car, how traffic is. It can get really bad.
Yes. Yeah, that. But if you get on one of your trips, you'll see it soon enough. that Hull train is really, really impressive, and I hope they build it out to other parts of the area. Although I know,
Yeah, there are plans to now to expand it.
It'll be an interesting challenge to the taxi industry, but because you know how that is, right?
Oh, yeah, but there's enough money for everybody though to eat.
Yeah, but some industries just don't want to change as quickly as they should. Uber is enough trouble for that industry.
Yeah.
And my brother here knows exactly where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the way they're handling it is they're getting the taxi guys involved, so they don't have a stake in the whole train. So that's how they silence them. They probably give them a stake, and then
that's
because
smart.
we really need it. They are actually planning to rolling out from Devon. I mean, from Joburg to Devon. So Devon will be really close now. So it's gonna be probably like an hour or something. And at the moment, it takes like 6 hours drive. So they wanna roll it out to Devon and Cape Town. Their proposal like that. So Cape Town is gonna be very close now.
That'd be nice because that'd cut that trip a lot. If you going 90 miles an hour,
yeah, no, it's magic, man.
It's very, very, very fast. And very, very nice. I mean, I love that train. I can speak all day for it, but I'm sure when you see it, but we don't have that kind of train service in Washington D.C. for the airport right now. They're just starting to connect. Now, the smaller airport I live in D.C. The smaller airport called Reagan has a subway station stop, just a general subway stop. Nothing big, but it's a small airport. You can't fly to South Africa nonstop from Reagan Airport. You have to go to New York. It's like Hobby Airport in Houston. It's got a little train station there.
Atlanta, Chicago do.
Yeah. Now, if you want to go on a real flight, like from Dulles Airport, which is the international airport, you have to take the train, but it doesn't. But they are just now putting the finishing touches on the train station stop. And when you do get off at that stop, you got to walk across a big parking lot, maybe 1,000 feet or 300 meters, and outdoor walking. No, they may have an underground tunnel, but the bottom line, it doesn't do what the Hull train do, which is go right up into the station. From an engineering perspective, as one, I can assure you will not find that kind of design being built anywhere in Egypt because it's a security risk. But bless the people there that train station nestles up right nice and neatly into that airport. Very, very well designed.
Just to add on what Wayne is saying also. Oh, sorry, Stace. You can
I'm gonna get on it one day. That's all.
No, man, you're gonna love it. Just to add on what Wayne is saying, man, that thing is the engineering there. If you go to Sentin, it's buried. The station is buried right under the city. So when you get out of the train, you have to take the lift. I don't know how. It's probably almost like, I don't know how. Have you been to the Sentin station, Wayne? That thing is buried deep underground.
Almost all of them.
And when you have to get out of the station now to get out and go to the mall, the lifts there, they deep, man. They are deep. It probably takes you like 5 minutes for you to get out while you're on the escalators going up.
Oh wow, that's deep under. That's deep. Yeah,
it's really deep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that train, but that station though is quite that. I hope they also expand it out into other parts of the area, like Soweto and maybe into points north. No, points west. I mean, like Rudeport. Is that how do you pronounce that area? If they can bring those other areas.
Yeah, they will. They're really trying to now roll it out to other areas that are really busy. So probably I know on the eastern side, they definitely want to stretch it further. If you're coming out to the airport, they will then stretch it out. There's another big mall in Israel. It's called Israel Mall. So I heard also they just want to extend it further, and they also want to go further up. If you're going towards Pretoria, Four Ways area, they want to extend to those areas as well.
And it's smart too because sometimes I will tell my lady, I don't know why it's taking so long. This is a no-brainer out here because the minute you start investing in a project like that, people will know to then build stores in the vicinity of Metro Rail stops. Because stores and neighborhoods just get more customers in that way, and then that just basically grows the economy. It grows there's like a no-lose situation in building out a Metro Rail type system like that in the Johannesburg area. Yeah. And I hope they can bring that project up and running fast as possible. But yeah, man, that's how advanced though, and they have compared to the stations in the, just getting to the major airports are in the United States because New York City has a JFK. It's messy to get into that train station. I mean, get to that airport from rail also. Same thing for Newark. I mean, they have stops, but not as eloquently made as what you'll find in Johannesburg. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Lozy, what you got?
Oh, brother Stacy. How are you, brother? I will call you Uncle Stacy. And I'm gonna say hello to Sia because Sia I think is same peer age with me, and I'll say Uncle Wade to our. That's how we call it in South Africa. But I wanna correct a few things here, brother Stacy, and it might shock you to know this. Brother Wayne is a fake brother because he's a South African, so he comes from the other side of the parallel universe. You know, he managed to breach through the breach and go to this side, and he immediately killed the Wayne that is original from America. You know, I've never met a South African with an accent like this, brother. You know, it's crazy.
Hey! I want to add this while you say that. One of my favorite gags to pull in South Africa is to tell a South African I'm a South African. I am one. I'm an actor though. I play in movies. This is an American accent you hear. And I'll play that little bit of the game, and then I'll reveal who I am. Cause I don't want to.
He's a South African with an accent.
I really?
Yeah.
I'll call him Uncle. I'll call him. Exactly. I'll call him Uncle Wayne.
You know, Lozi, if you can drop him in Soweto, you wouldn't tell
a brother or anything because I think the age
especially
gap is
with
just
that
too much
head.
to call him a father to me, you know. So in respect, I'll call him an uncle. So yeah.
Lozi, even when this
No.
will even get lost in Soweto. I think you know Soweto better than you do.
He will release the last album with Mudu of Kwaito. You know Kwaito album.
He fits right in, huh?
No, I've seen Uncle Wayne in one of the.
You keep going in and
Hey,
out.
my brother, exactly. That hat says it a lot. I don't even have that hat myself, so I wanna buy it because of Uncle Wayne now.
I know when he was there
Yeah.
last
What
time.
in South in
Can
Johannesburg?
you guys hear me clear? Because I think my network is bad. Can you guys hear me clear?
You
Am I
go
clear?
in and out. You go in and out.
Hello, am I clear? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You clear, but you go in and out.
You keep cutting, Lozi.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'll
Just-
come back.
Okay. But yeah, Wayne, you definitely fit in, man.
And now on one occasion I went to Soweto, and I don't know. I think I was with some other cousins or a couple other people. And we ran into some young people who just came in from the Free State, and they wanted to know where to go at in Soweto, and so they followed me to the Mandela House, and I was kind of like pointing out stuff that a tour guide would point out, but it was like weird because, man, you've been here a lot of times. You can tell her. So I kind of like, no, I don't claim to be at that level or anywhere close to it when it comes to being able to articulate at length on it. But yeah, I'm comfortable there a lot, and I'm comfortable when I'm there, and hey, I say, I love the place.
Wow.
Hey, Wayne, by the way, your lady is South African, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
She's.
Did they ask you for Lobola?
Man, let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you something right now. The first time I ever heard Lobola from her, I was like, it was my early days, and I was thinking, Lobola, huh? Pay money to who? That's not how you get married around. You're supposed to go and do this. You go and you buy the wedding. All the stuff I said was all I knew how to do things. All I knew was one way to get married, and that was how we do things in the United States. That's what and then you think that's the only way to get married because that's the only way most Americans think of as being a possibility on how to get married. But then as you learn over time really what Lobola is, you begin to accept and realize that it's deeper than you thought. You just didn't know because you wasn't raised around here. Yes. And we were probably doing this before what you would learn how to do. Now I truly respect and will do that and understand that process a lot more than my early days. Now, have I where I'm at with that? Well, hey, let's see.
Send it a link.
But I've been to many ceremonies where guys are doing bringing their Lobola to get married to like one of my lady's cousins or friends. I even was in one wedding before for one of my friends who got married in South Africa. I was like one of the best men there, and I watched a lot of traditional activities performed behind it. I'm still learning, so I don't claim to be any kind of expert at it, but I do know one thing for sure is Lobola. It's
So-
the key thing.
Wayne, send her the link. Send her the link, Wayne. See if she get on.
She is actually driving the last time I talked to her today. In fact, I want to follow up with you on that. She's been so busy. She spends a lot of time out in the area just west of Johannesburg. The name of that place is oh gosh, I cannot believe my brain.
Is it not Rudeport, the one that you mentioned earlier?
No, it's not Rudeport. And I actually love going out to this place. And so maybe it's because I've had a long day at work that I'm having a struggle remembering. But I'm looking on a map right now because that's the quickest way to get this place remembered. It's out in the here we go. It's called Matupasted. Are you guys familiar with that? It's small and it's an area that's just it's almost like a village, but it's not a village. But it's going out toward Marlingsburg or something like that, out in that direction.
Okay. I know Mansbeck. Okay.
All right. Now, if you keep going past there, you're in farmland, of course, and there's a community that's about 2 kilometers out into the woods. You can't even see it from the road. At night, you can see it because the lights are on. It's like the kind of lights that you would see at a football game, states when you go up at high school, they have lights like that. But this community is set deep in the woods. You'll see it at one point sooner or later. It's like it's just nothing but family back there. And
Wayne, you're not from here no more, Wayne. You know too much.
He knows South Africa more than I do.
You know too much.
Now, when I go out there to Matupasted, and I never turn down a trip there. We're going to go to a place that she has out there in the community, and it's a round house and 2-story level. It is completely round like a circle. It has a thatched roof. People think a thatched roof in the United States is being a sign of a place that can't afford a real roof. But yes. but anybody who's familiar with Africa, in particular South Africa, know that people like to look for that as a high-end roof. The more your roof looks thatched and designed that way. Anyway. Yeah. You get up in that house, 2-story house, and it's bare bones out there now. Hers isn't even. I think hers probably has the outhouse because she's only there if she needs to be out in that community doing something with loved ones out there. Normally, she has a housekeeper live in that house, and so that's why she was out there, and that's why it's been tough to get up with her, Stace, because she's been out in Matupasted a lot doing stuff and helping. I think
I seen you post pictures about that one day. I think you had like a picture from the back. And she was sitting down, and her sister was sitting down.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
That's it. That's Matupasted. Yeah. And if I really want to escape from all the urban noise, a trip to Matupasted to do it. It is a community that's if you Google up Matupasted, you'll find that it's one of those famous. It's a community that's famous because the Afrikaners tried to take it from them many times over the last couple of decades and use it as a farmland because the ground is so fertile there. But they managed to hold on to that community. It was on 60 Minutes back in the 70s. I mean, and then I was looking at it recently, only about a week ago, just rehashing the stuff that went down there. But they managed to make a stand and keep that patch of land. It's bigger than a patch of land, but to keep that area. And so it's really like, managed to hold on to its roots. So it's a pretty it's known for that part of history, and I love it out there, man. Peace.
I'm gonna get there. Get there. I'm gonna get there one day. Lozy, you back? You good?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, brother. Uncle Stacey, I'm very good.
Okay.
I'm good. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Now I hope you guys catch everything I was saying. I was just coming for Uncle Wayne because I love Uncle Wayne, man. I saw him in the previous video. I forgot. I don't know if it was Brother Assad or the changing the narrative, but he was going in, man. I realized that this uncle is more South African than me, man. And I'm talking about, I was born here. No, man, I appreciate you guys. Uncle Wayne is one of us, you know. And that's why I said he was born in America by mistake. He probably killed the original one because he's coming from the parallel universe, you know.
he's been around the continent, man. And like I said, he's definitely been my motivation. Because
I forgot to say earlier, Egypt was another place that I've been to, and that's really an important place that almost everybody in the continent needs to go to at least once. I mean, every country is important, but Egypt is.
Why Egypt?
I'm laughing because Egypt is a trip. I landed in Egypt. I went there just because I had cheap flights. It was going to be a meetup point. She was coming from Johannesburg. I'd come in from Egypt. I'd come in from the States. Egypt was cheap for both of us, like 1 round trip through Saudi. You can't beat that. I said, and then while we're there, we'll just look around and just kill time. It only took about a day or two before I realized how much misinformation I had about Egypt. I mean, I knew about Egypt, but all you see in Egypt is like, let's just put it like this. It's probably one of the most controversial countries on the continent because everybody wants to say that they are an Egyptian. Europeans want to say that we're the Egyptians. Greeks want to say we're the Egyptians. The Arabians want to say we're the original. But everything that you see when you dig down in Egypt looks like people who are Zulus and then other people from other parts of the continent. In other words, what you see in Egypt looks everywhere like people who are indigenous, long term, I guess you can sort of say, Africans. Everywhere. It's like, huh? So I mean, it's and then you really understand and learn a lot about what went down in terms of the creating a society that we copy basically in the United States, because almost all of the U.S. is just mirrored off of Egypt. Pushed through Greece. So, but Greece learned what they learned from people in Egypt, and you learn a lot about that, and you see a lot about that when you go to Egypt. And the pyramids, man, that sometimes things look one way on TV and movies, but maybe not as big in real life. But they're big, and nobody knows exactly what they are. So it's a good place for people to really go to learn a lot about African history. And
damn, Wayne, you like a walking Google.
Hey, man, once you start going to one country on the continent, it just expands to the rest, because you have to, and then you marvel and think, oh, this is connected by just the same piece of dirt. You can just walk from the pyramid to Rosebank, literally. Now from the States, obviously not. You fly there, but all this is on the same land, the same mass continent, and the same mother place of all of mankind. And so it's a beautiful continent, man. I mean, and South Africa just has a combination of landscapes in it that you'll find throughout the continent. But it's like when God created South Africa, he took everything that he put in other parts of the continent and mashed it into South Africa. And so South Africa is very, very, very beautiful. As
Wayne,
you all know,
Wayne, you don't need a visa, man. You don't need a visa. just go ahead and go, man. You home.
Hey, yeah, I love traveling to space, and I hope to be there in about 2 weeks, 2.5.
And just to add on what Uncle Wayne is saying, can you hear me, Stacey?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rose.
Okay, just to add on what Uncle Wayne is saying, I haven't traveled around the continent, if I be honest, but I think there's a special countries for me, because I'm saying this directly to change the narrative, Brother Stacey, because when you get to the continent, at some point you want to start traveling around the continent, which I'm also planning to do that. My first destination will be Morocco, because I believe I've studied architecture, through every single architecture I've seen in history and everything, the most architecture that I find elegant and respectful and more advanced throughout history is Japanese architecture. But beyond Japanese architecture, it's Morocco architecture. You must see what they do there. It's unfortunate that we live in a current system where the capitalists of Western they dictate who must be developed and who must not. But if countries like Morocco were to get the fair chance, those guys, when we're talking about architecture, they really got the elements to it. If you look at Morocco architecture, you don't need, if you Google Morocco architecture, you don't need to, if you studied it, it's so unique that you don't need to, you can see a single building that is from Morocco. You won't question. The identity is just right in your face. It is so, and obviously Egypt is the mother of the modern architecture. It's just in your face. But in Africa, I really respect Morocco. And I would also encourage many people to travel to Mali, a country called Mali in West Africa. The architecture there, it's mind-blowing. That's why I believe as Africans, the modern architecture you're gonna see in Africa in the near future is gonna resemble much of Mali identity, and also Zimbabwe as well. The historical architecture there is mind-blowing. So yeah, for me to travel around the world, first of all, it's gonna be mainly for architecture, obviously landscape. But yeah, I just wanted to add on that.
I've seen pictures of that blue room in Morocco. It's a place. There are places that are really stunning interior wise, and that I've seen, and from other travelers who've been there. I've never been to Morocco. I wanted to go there actually in July, but I wound up having to just go straight to Johannesburg. I was also right up against the Sahara Desert, so you can really get to see outdoors how it transitions like that from into the desert. But I that they do have stunning architecture there.
Morocco.
The pictures I've seen, especially. There's some places you always just all like an off blue color in one building or in one space. Travelers, I think one of our friends in the group, the one that travels a lot, she was there recently, and she posted some stunning pictures of her experience there. So,
okay,
yeah.
Adventure Kids. Wayne want to know. Well, she asked. Adventure Kids want to know, have you been to Kenya before?
I want to go to Kenya so badly, but all I've done before is just do the layover in Nairobi, at the main airport.
Nairobi.
I don't know why. No, I'm hot over here. I need to turn my air conditioner on. Anyway, I lay over there for about 2 hours, and coming into the airport, it was really, really stunning outside. Nairobi looks beautiful. The greenery everywhere. But all I could see is just that little bit of outside as we arrived and as we departed. I was surprised to see though, because they have a Hardee's restaurant in that airport.
Oh wow!
Wow. I hadn't seen one of those. That's a U.S. Fast food chain, folks.
Yeah,
sort of like one of the ones that are in South Africa, and it was except that Hardee's was quite expensive. If you ask me, I think I must have paid probably $10 for a burger. But no, I've never really had my foot on the ground good though in Kenya, and I look forward to. I hear so many good things about Nairobi and Mombasa that I want to go there.
Well, what I can say about Adventure Kids, our brother Jew Travels, he was just there like a few weeks ago, and he has a bunch of videos about Kenya, Nairobi. I think he even was in Egypt, I want to say. But yeah.
I think he's currently either in Egypt or he's still in Kenya.
Yeah.
But like brothers, just to add something important from what Brother Wayne is saying, and this could be very, very important to Black Americans or Black in the diaspora, be it Caribbean islands or the Jamaicans. Look, if you look at Kenya, Nairobi is the only city in Africa that will resemble Johannesburg or Pretoria outside, apart from Namibia or Botswana. And I think that's because of the close colonization with the British Empire standing longer there as well. So I would say I've seen construction companies in America that have been run by Black American, specifically the FBA construction companies that have done so well, and also even our brother who runs this company, who runs this YouTube channel in Africa. He was in South Africa recently. around early in South Africa. He goes with his wife and his daughter. I forgot the name, and he's in Madagascar, I think now. Currently, he showed a video where
the
he was showing
unapologetic, isn't it?
unapologetic nomad.
Okay.
Yes. So he was showing Black American companies that have actually done a breathtaking architecture in USA of Black American, because you guys really build that country, and if you
Oh man, Lozy, you're going in and out again.
Leslie is gone. Okay, just to also add on what you guys are saying, he also mentioned Zimbabwe. You guys I think you should also check out. I've never been there, but it's one place that I want to check. Oh, he's back.
can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I was saying if Black Americans could have companies that could engineer and build one of the most developed countries in the world, what stops you guys that when time comes you could bring the same skills to the continent and really build it forward? I'm not saying we should replicate what has been done in America in terms of architecture, but the skills, we can merge the African art with the skills that you guys have already have to transform the continent. My point is that the construction companies that are run by Black Americans, they could be very useful on the continent currently, because there's much potential in there.
Yeah, Wayne, this should be yours because that's the field you in basically.
Yes, I work in the construction engineering field, and I can say that the big challenge right now will be government speed in processing visas and things like that just really are required and support to basically get started with that. You see, what will probably happen is you come in there with big ideas and big plans like this, you'll probably find that there are other people there who might have been there since colonialism, so to speak, who do not want to see things change in ways and will basically funnel and fund whatever political groups they need to make it difficult for people to do what we're doing, even people to visit in general. So I think right now, though, it's just being able to really do that, to execute ideas as fast as you like to, is what a lot of people would probably want to do. But somewhere down the line in government, they'll run into some sort of issue that makes it very difficult to do, even if you want to do. That's one thing that I've kind of learned over the years it's the speed of and willingness of government to really let that happen without them saying maybe to the investor to what's in it for me.
That's so true. Can you guys hear me? Because I think I'm living.
You're still going in and out. You're still going in and out. But also that's another reason why most of us our plans is on a smaller scale, because we already know it's going to be so hard to do something on a bigger scale. So that's why we like a restaurant or a bar, lounge, something small like that, because we know the obstacles is not going to be as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then not to mention when all of us start thriving and living a better life, they're gonna come try to damn jam us up and try to buy us out or
that's the number
make things harder for us to accomplish.
I can assure you, because if you start a restaurant up in Johannesburg and it's doing enough good business, let's just put it like this: you'll probably get a knock on your door from an Afrikaner, or maybe somebody else, from another country, to say we'll buy it out or do whatever to just get your business out of there. I mean, that happened to one of our close friends. Many times, this particular friend has been offered money to get out of the industry and don't come back because she was doing that good.
And then when you say no, they're going to make things difficult for you to receive to keep thriving.
Yeah, but one thing you must also remember here, Stace, is that here you have a government on your side. You still have a government that is on your side here.
you can still put up a case. Your case will be heard, and you know they can still throw those things, but you have a government on your side. Our lawyers are black. The jury will be okay. We don't have a jury, but basically the court is going to be black. So
You
it's
know
our
what?
time.
Yeah,
That's where I'm going to. It's our time.
There was
you,
Assad and brother James Bennett, and it was, I think, my brother Thomas and another guy. There was a bar in Melville that was that they were selling, and we was interested in getting it. This was like maybe a couple months ago, and our issue was, you know, thinking that they was gonna make it hard for us, break in the building and steal the TVs, or just make it really, really difficult. And then we kind of
you
like
know,
shy away from it.
you know what I think, Brother Stacy, is the problem is that our system doesn't discriminate. So even if you are a black American in South Africa, you are still treated like a Scottish in South Africa, or an Australian or a Japanese in South Africa. Uh, I think you guys, what you should do, and I think Brother Wayne is aware of this, you should look into BEE laws and how can you reach in. I don't know if when it comes to BEE, which is Black Empowerment Economy in South Africa, which is specifically for Black South Africans. I don't know if you're a Black in the diaspora coming to South Africa, how much room you have. Right? But I think if it's something that you should consider in the future to partner with because if you partner with BEE, things will be much easier. Things will be much easier for you. I think our government as well. Look, our government comes from a background where it was literally owned by the colonizers, just like any African government. The best we have done is that we have tailored our economic transformation to. Can you hear me, Stacey? Brothers,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah, carry on.
Okay. The best our government was considering, what focused on, was to tailor everything to Black South Africans. That's something we could validate and then give an excuse. Now we need to transform it to where it can tailor to the entire blacks, even in the diaspora around the continent, where we're looking at the transformation at the core of the black nation. But I understand why our government was smart about that, because we're dealing with the global powerhouses. You don't want to put laws that are gonna open a room just for black race and disclose for other race. It could be too it could be too controversial and bring a lot of debate. And Mandela created I think South Africa was supposed to be a democratic space, which is just on paper. You know what's going on. So I think you guys have to find a way. When you come down here, Brother Stacy, and which I will advise to Brother Wayne, sit down with the blacks, spend time with Black South Africans or blacks around the continent. Find the loopholes, because the loopholes are there. Things don't have to be that difficult for you guys. I believe there is loopholes there. When you're on the ground, Brother Stacy, I will stay in contact with you. I've got my guys on the ground as well. Just get on the channel. I told you my position. I'm too dirty on this street, so I'm not professional here. but there's loopholes where you can find your place and really succeed. But at the end of the day, the time we live in, we see the West really been living in their desperate moment. If you can see what Russia, China, and India, probably with Brazil and South Africa, what they do it now, in 10 years from now, I'm telling you, Brother Station, you will see a transformation on the continent. Basically, South Africa will be at the forefront, and the people who are now coming in South Africa, they are literally sitting at an advantage position, because the transformation of Africa will basically be through South Africa. And with the BRICS and the other parallel systems that are being created, we stand a better chance to transform the continent. Meaning, as you said, you're going to come through South Africa to break into the continent. The systems that are going to be created here, they will be at your benefit. You just need to come here and pay attention. That's all you need to do.
Okay. I do have a question.
Okay.
Though. since we're talking about the government, this is a real quick question. You know how we say that TV influences everything and the media? Like when you watch these movies on TVs, like these movies where they got lawyers and judges and stuff like that. So they'll have the black judge, they'll have the black lawyers and the black judges, and then they'll have that European white that you know what you call like a hair, like it's of course it's like a wig.
Yes.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, Stacey.
Yeah.
That's not in that's not in South Africa, you know.
But my point is, you see, that's how they brainwash people. They do dumb stuff like that, so you can.
Yes.
I don't know.
But you know, Stace, when
That's
you,
keeping control.
That is the wig wearing thing is something that I believe actually comes out of traces its roots back to Egypt. Okay, because Egyptians wore a lot of wigs. At least that's what I learned when I was there, and that is really kind of like saying basically, from what I'm read now and from what I'm learning, that kind of thing really just traces roots right back down to the continent again.
Yeah. Look, most of the stuff, almost everything comes from Africa. It's just that it went, either Europe or.
You went out.
Brother Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so to explain that we've structured that you most of the times you see being presented by the people in law, like lawyers, when they like, but in South Africa we don't have that. We never had that. So I will say this: it's a colonial structure. Think about it. If you look at Black Americans or blacks in the Caribbean or Black South Africans, we one of the most people who actually managed to preserve our culture. And it's weird because we one of the groups that lived the longest with the enemy. I don't know how to explain it, but remember, the colonization was through, it wasn't only a physical colonization, it was also a mental colonization. We went through a mental colonization as well. So if you go to West Africa, couple countries there, they still wear weaves. And even our neighboring countries here in southern region, I think probably either Zimbabwe, Mozambique, or Malawi, one of these guys in their court systems, they still wear weaves. Those colonial weaves. And I don't know if it's the system that was displayed by the colonizers, that was put by the colonizers to make those people think like that. Because in South Africa, we have never had that. And to tell you something, ANC, which is the ruling party in South Africa now today, and ever since 1994, this is the oldest black political party on the continent. And they have never worn weaves. And to make a point is that most of the people who are the founders of ANC, the Xhosas, the Xhosa speaking people, largely the ones who contributed in ANC. And if you look at geography, the colonizer came through the coast in southern region, and the Xhosas are one of the tribes that was hit hard by the colonization. So they had no choice but to really adapt, and most put, Mandela, Walter Sisulu, Governing Mbeki, to name few, they were Xhosas, So you get a feeling that it's as if the place where you stayed long with the colonizer, you resent them, you don't want anything to do with them. But those who were just colonized for few, like not so long, like just a specific period of time, they tend to hold on their colonizer, because what the colonizers have done globally is that they have presented this idea that they are behind development, they are behind civilization, they are behind advancement. So the specific society that was left behind earlier on by the colonizers, they might believe, because they are inferior, they might believe that because the colonizers are superior to them, they need to copy what they're doing, unlike a society that lived longer with the colonizer.
Okay, because that's still. I was watching a TV series. I think it probably was somewhere in West Africa. I think it was Nigeria, and there was a bunch of lawyers. I can't remember the name of the movies on Netflix, TV series on Netflix. And every time they go to court, all you did was see those white wigs. I'm like, that can't still be going on.
Mm.
But I'm reading in the comments saying in the chat that some places it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
But they
why.
didn't live long with the colonizer.
Well, I mean,
They didn't live that long.
yeah, it's that kind of thing, though, Stace. Though, if you think about it, even a lot of things we do in everyday life around here are just things that we don't know any other way really to do, even though we should know. Like, for example, some people believe that you have to wear a white dress with a long tail on it, or a long frilly white dress to get married. And if you're a groom, you have to wear a certain type of thing, and you have to do. And these aren't traditions that really are what are a part of our true culture with regards to West Africa. But we don't know anything else, even though we should know more. We just go and do what we saw done.
Right.
And it's
Right.
not. Every time I see somebody getting ready for a wedding these days, knowing, I mean, in South Africa, when they get married, they have a traditional ceremony and they do it the English way, I guess you could sort of say, right, guys. And a lot of people do that, and I don't even know why they don't do it, but just your own traditional way. And whenever the day comes when I would want to be married in the way that's traditional to my fiance's group. To be honest with you, Stace.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that day. I'm gonna be right there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that day.
You don't need to be really wearing any De Beers diamonds. We don't want to go down that road because you know how dangerous that road can go when you're talking about that issue, because that doesn't really need anything except for the promotion that came out of De Beers 50, 60 years ago. I don't know if a lot of people. I think a lot of people in South Africa probably should be aware of that. The fact that nobody was buying diamonds about 60 years ago until it got promoted to be as something you do to show that you can afford to get married, and De Beers marketed it like that, and that's how it became popular. But no, I mean, but these are things that we do that aren't necessarily our culture.
Speaking of diamonds, this is a random question here. Y'all might laugh at this with me because what do y'all care about Queen Elizabeth dying?
Zero.
Wait, brother.
Zero
Can I add on that? Can I add on
Zero,
that? Can I add on that?
Go ahead, Luz.
Brother, can I add on that, please?
Yes, go ahead.
The so-called Queen died, right? The first thing I asked, I went through CNN and BCC or BBC, whatever the channel they use. I just kept asking, was it painful enough? I just want to know if it was that painful enough for the millions of people who died under the so-called empire, with the children that went around the globe killing millions of people for the past at least 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it was painful. I really hope it was painful. If it was not that painful, it's not fair. And it's interesting that she died at the era where the West is actually collapsing. We see Russia, China, and India rising up. She literally died at the era where her empire is really at their knees. They collapsing. I was so happy. I'm so happy. I
was like, why do black people care about that? I'm gonna tell y'all, Black Twitter was roasting her. Black Twitter was talking all kind of trash about her, man. Like, why do we care about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put any energy into this at all. Where I can. And I know that I'm gonna have to do a good job of keeping my TV off. I mean, I have no. I don't have any hate for anyone. I don't have any particular. It's just neutral for me in general. Her as an individual, all that family. I just know what the facts are, and the facts aren't very good with regards to legacy and treatments of people worldwide. Diamond is from South Africa, as we all know, and how it got to be in our hands, well, we all know. It's called the Cullen diamond to kind of keep it from being said a South African diamond. I don't know how one could could walk around and march around with these things and assume people don't know the history and know the people who died or got seriously killed trying to mine that. I believe back in the day, they would make people who go and work in gold in diamond mines and gold mines get an X-ray of the chest at the end of every shift, just to make sure you haven't stolen something. I mean, this is the torture people do to forced to do to dig up those resources. But no, I don't put any energy into this at all, and you know, it's just not what I want to even put my thoughts on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I agree with Brother Wayne. I also don't want to put much energy on it, and but yeah, it's what it is, and nature has a way of correcting itself, and you can't fight it. Unfortunately, that's the sad part of it. Oh, then it depends. Nature has a way of correcting itself. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But also, honestly, sorry.
Sad or not,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say, it might be a little bit of the topic. The current topic now is me. I really want us to have maybe Stacy can arrange that. We can have a session where we'll have some knowledge sharing. I'm an accountant, so I can share whatever knowledge that you guys need in regards to business in South Africa. And I've also worked in the BE industry, like Lozi was saying. So I do have a couple of knowledge. Maybe things might have changed over the years, but I do have some knowledge also on how BE work in South Africa and so on. So maybe you can set up a session where you ask any question about accounting, audits, tax, and all those kind of stuff.
Funny thing is, earlier today, chilling with the Charles, Thomas messaged me and asked me about this same tough subject right now. You know what? We can touch on this on Monday, if you guys want.
Okay.
I can see if I can get Charles on, because he was trying to find some place where he can like buy land in the mountains in Cape Town or something like that, and saying it was really expensive. Yeah. And I said, well, just do Eastern Cape then. It's a little more, less expensive. So he was like, well, how are we going to find out who to buy that from? I said, man, listen.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chats. All you do is ask questions.
Yeah. My friend and I are driving down to Cape Town on the to the Eastern Cape to get land there. We want the rural land, because those guys, you find the rural land right by the ocean.
See?
Right by the ocean, you find cows hanging there in the beach. Just cows.
Okay.
So,
we can
but it depends with what you want. We'll come up with like proper information when we come from there. We're planning to go down the first week of October.
Okay. We can
Yeah,
definitely
that's great. Yeah, that's very interesting, brother Stacey.
But that is everywhere. Sorry, come again.
I was saying that's very interesting because in the developers. I work with developers, contractors, the engineers, because I'm in the architectural side, so we know which side. Now currently we are doing proposals for Soweto, but I won't go into details because I don't want people to yeah, but yeah, we're doing so. But Stacey, I want you, when you test the ground, contact me, because I've got the big guys on my side. So we're doing proposals for places like Soweto. I've worked, I've been involved in many projects, like even as far as DRC and Ghana, to be honest.
Okay.
But most of the times on these platforms, I don't talk about what I really do in real time in life. But I'm in the developing part, because in terms of construction and what's really hitting the ground in Africa, I'm on the ground. And I think Sia is correct. I think he's the one who's actually more informed about BEE than me. He can help you guys, because you guys are black at the end of the day. You guys, we cannot have Japanese and Chinese coming on the continent to benefit in your presence, because you guys are just as much skilled like Japanese and Chinese. What these African presidents are getting from the Chinese, they can literally replace them with you guys. We just need to put right systems in place and right investment. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add on what Los is saying, guys, the Chinese are regarded as black in South Africa. If you for in terms of the definition of black in South Africa, according to BE, they are black.
Oh, really? How's that happen? How's that possible?
Because Chinese, they've been here for a long time, so they were also segregated during apartheid, and Indians too. So when they look at BE, they look at the people that were segregated during apartheid. But I don't know, they managed, to get away with the system because they managed, to get up, and they sort of like higher than black people.
It's funny though, but sad at the same time that some of those same, like some groups are become other groups when it's convenient.
Yeah, because you'll never be black when you get to, you'll never be a Chinese when you get to China, and you'll never, benefit from their whatever social benefits that they have for their, people. They'll never classify you as a Chinese. You'll remain black. You say once you go black, you never go back. You'll never be any other race. They'll classify you as black no matter where you go in this world.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no guys, I'm actually in the mining industry. That's why I had to hide myself, because I work for a big mining company.
Okay.
When we started touching on diamonds and all that, so I was like,
okay. we can talk. Like I said, I can get Charles, because I got to get ready to get out of here, because like I said, me and the wife got this boat ride, and so Monday we can talk about that, and we can get Charles on, and Charles have any questions, maybe we can get some questions answered, and and go from there. Like I said, this is about just building, building, and all becoming one.
Yeah.
So you guys have a good weekend.
Hey, you too. Stace, thank you.
Yes.
You too, brother Stacy. You too,
See y'all
brother
guys
Stacy.
Monday.
Cheers. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Yes.
Chop, chop.
Later.
All right.
Later, cuz.
Later, cuz. All right.
Damn. Damn.